We got Bella on the camera. Hey, this Nate.
Hello.
Again.
We're like in the kitchen.
A lot
kitchen
tonight.
fools tonight, huh? Yeah. So here in Corpus Christi with my son Nathan. Bella's here with us. Hey, Bella.
You can see me in the microwave.
And what are we doing? What are we doing now?
We're going to be roasting up some coffee.
Roasting up our own coffee.
Yep.
So what did you do here? So you ordered this?
Yeah. So it's a website called Sweet Maria's. They sell green coffee beans.
Look at that. See green. Green, not necessarily the color green.
Yeah, it's got a little shade of green.
It is a little shade of green, but
so they sell green coffee beans. The great thing about it is it's going to be cheaper than buying coffee. Comes out to about $6 a pound of really high quality beans. You can get some cheaper beans, but I like Ethiopian coffee. For whatever reason,
they probably don't use this to make Folgers, is what you're saying.
No.
Dry roasted.
No. They're going to use most likely
Like
things
hotel coffee, probably not. This is like higher.
This is good coffee. This is good coffee.
So you got that. You pulled about 560 grams here, so that's going to give us enough probably for coffee for you and me for what, tomorrow?
Yeah.
No,
it'll last us the week.
Okay.
We weighed that out, and I got a little stovetop popper.
Yeah, that's just a popcorn popper, right?
Little stovetop popper, and we got this thing preheating right now.
Medium high.
About medium high.
Okay.
You kind of want it about 400 degrees or so when you add your coffee, and that's going to drop it. So it's been going for probably about 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and add our coffee. Trying not to spill.
It's not going to pop like popcorn. It's just roasting, right? That's the idea.
It'll actually pop. There's moisture in the beans.
Oop.
Get the fan going. Get that fan on high because it gets pretty
Turn it
smoky.
off for a second. So let's look at. So you see, you keep the thing turning. And you're basically roasting the beans.
Yep.
Over the fire. You're going to do this for how long? About 10 minutes?
About 10 to 12 minutes. It depends on the coffee beans. It depends on stove. It depends on a lot of things. So,
where'd you get the idea of doing this?
I just read it online. I read cowboys on the old trail and stuff. These green coffee beans will actually last you like a year to 2 years. They keep for a long time. And so they would roast the coffee beans in the morning right before they're about to brew, and maybe they might roast a little bit for the next day. But cheaper, tastes better, and you go ahead and try it. We'll flip that lid, and let me get a timer started real quick.
See me doing this? How am I doing it? Okay, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going about 10 minutes, so it's, let's call it 7:23.
Yeah.
You can do that right there.
Yeah, that's true.
That's old school.
We'll just do that right off here.
See that? Mm-hmm. You know what I did there? Just using this timer.
So basically,
I love that about you, Nathan. I mean, you always you go, hey, this is kind of cool. Kind of try this. That's kind of like really in the spirit. My mom was kind of that way, and she would she'd get some idea in her head, and she'd kind of pass that along to me. And I'm glad to see that that's passed along through to you guys too. You know, I mean, trying something new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep turning. What? Keep turning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So about every minute or two too, just to make sure the beans are evenly distributed. I'll even give the pot a little shake like that, just to redistribute everything, and then just make sure you keep turning.
Okay.
And really,
you don't want to scorch them.
Yeah, keep it moving. You just don't want to scorch them. So.
And you like to do kind of you like a dark roast, or you like
I like a medium roast.
Medium roast?
Yeah. If you go too dark, especially when you start getting good coffee beans, you shouldn't be.
See the steam coming off that?
Yeah.
Keep it. You gotta keep it cranking.
All right. Fine. Right. Falling down on the job.
Yep.
So you're gonna roast these. We get through roasting them. You're gonna pull them off, and then what? You got a little grinder, right?
Yep. Yeah. So after you're finished roasting them, it takes about 12 hours for the coffee beans to cool down. They're going to be off-gassing a lot of CO2. So they're not going to be as flavorful if you brew it right away. So I like to do it the night before, and by the next morning it should be good to roast. And I do about a week's worth of coffee at a time. Real easy, honestly. Very simple, saves money, tastes amazing. Once you try it, it changes everything.
Yeah, really?
Well, you're about to find out tomorrow.
All right. All right. We'll come back here in a few more minutes, and we'll check it out, see what it looks like. Okay. Be right back. All right. Still turning.
Still turning. So if you look, so there's a lot of moisture in these green coffee beans.
Yep.
So you can see a lot of that steam is coming out. So basically, what you're looking for is you're going to be looking for what's called the first crack. There's two distinct cracks in the coffee beans as they're roasting. The first crack is going to be that moisture forcing out of the bean, and it's going to basically kind of pop that outer shell. That happens about 6 or 7 minutes into the coffee, so we should be coming up on that first crack here soon.
Okay.
The trick with roasting coffee, and that's what kind of scares away some people, is the timing between the first crack and the second crack. That's where you're going to get into that medium roast. You go from light roast to medium, and then by the time it hits the second crack, you're getting more into your dark roast coffee, and then you're going to get a lot of more smoky, roasty flavor in the coffee.
I'm looking.
So you can see,
Yeah, it's really darkening up.
yep. So just keep that coffee moving. Nope, not yet. I thought I heard maybe the crack. So it's all timing. So between the first and second crack, you got to time it around there. I like to kind of approach that second crack, so it's a little bit more into like a well-developed medium roast. I find the flavors just really good. And again, I'm not a coffee snob. I will have no problem going to the gas station and getting a cup of coffee. I'm just like,
But if
a fun little
it's
hobby.
amazing and it's cheap and it's amazing coffee for cheap, you know.
And it saves me money, and it's just something fun. And I'm just like, if I'm going to do something every single day, why not make it good?
Yeah.
And save money in the process.
So you said, is it all the beans start cracking like popcorn cracking?
It's kind of like a popcorn crack. Nope, not yet.
Should be getting close.
Yeah, it should be getting
It's been
close.
about 6 minutes now.
And that's the thing with roasting coffee, just like cooking. Like, you can follow a recipe, and ultimately you still have to kind of tailor it to, every single. Oh, you see?
Yeah, I heard it.
There we go.
Yep, yeah, I heard it. Is it? Then they all start popping and cracking.
They will. Yep. So it's gonna be spread out. You're gonna hear the first stages of the first crack. You'll see a lot of steam coming off, and they're gonna go through the whole process. So it's gonna occur over a couple minutes or so. So the key is I've heard it online and I've been doing it. Is just reduce that heat just a little bit.
Okay.
So you develop a lot of really good flavors.
So we went from medium high down to about a little less
Kind
than
of like a
medium.
medium low right there.
Okay.
And the longer you can kind of draw out that first to second crack, they say that you get a lot more flavor into the beans.
Yeah, they're really getting dark in there now.
Oh yeah. So, and you can see a lot more smoke, and that moisture is getting released from the beans. And you just keep cranking it.
Yeah, I can really smell it too.
Yeah, it's definitely a roasty kind of burnt smell.
And you bought this popcorn thing for that?
I did, yeah, just for the coffee. I had a feeling I was going to get into this kind of little hobby, and it adds 10 minutes to my little Sunday routine.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking amazing coffee every morning.
And how much did this bag right here cost?
I think that was a 2-pound bag. Those Ethiopian coffee beans go for, I think they were about $6 or $7 a pound. So that whole bag right there was about the cost of a normal coffee bag of real good coffee. And I'm getting double the amount. You can kind of hear. There you go.
Yep. Hear it.
So you can see the chaff, right? So there's some chaff that's going to get released from the coffee beans as that moisture forces out and cracks. So when we strain the coffee beans, you're going to strain it in a colander, and that's going to help get rid of some of the chaff. So we've been going for about 10 minutes. You know, again, it's all just.
And is really, I guess the question a lot of people have is all the work worth it? You think?
I think so. Saves me money.
Taste.
If you like coffee and you want to kind of up your coffee routine in the morning, give it a try. If not, I mean, sometimes when I'm busy and maybe I don't roast a batch for the week, I'll just go buy a bag of coffee and you know, that is what it is. But it's a fun little hobby, and the coffee really is quite good. We'll see what you think tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Wait. So when do you know it's done?
So it's a lot of time, color, first crack, second crack.
What do you look for in yours?
That's literally what I'm looking for. I like a medium roast. So I want a good even color on the beans. I want to see some of this steam turn into more of a dry heat. So the beans are still kind of going through the first crack a little bit. It's all just an art, really.
Okay, well, when you tell me what you see when you get to where you're looking for.
When we get to the end.
So still a lot of steam coming off, so that's a little too much.
Yep.
You like it a little drier than that.
A little drier heat as it gets into the second crack.
And the second crack is basically you'll hear it popping again, and is it like a popcorn sound?
It's more of a faint. It's more of a faint pop.
Yeah.
I've heard it described, and it's kind of true. Somebody said it sounds like adding milk to like Rice Krispie cereal.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a very distinct, or it's very faint pop.
In about 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, just a little over 10 minutes now. A little bit darker.
And still a lot of steam coming off.
Yeah, there is. Again, it's just all dependent. You know, some coffee beans are going to be have a little bit more moisture inside the beans. Depends on country.
So you like the Ethiopian beans? Are there some other choices you can get from that?
Yeah, you know, so as far as Africa goes, most people like Ethiopian and Kenyan coffees. You also have coffee in Tanzania, Rwanda. A lot of those high altitude countries in Africa grow coffee as a way.
But you like the African stuff?
I like
Can you get South American too?
Yeah, you do. Brazilian coffee is actually the world's largest supplier of coffee. So most likely, if you're drinking Folgers, you're drinking coffee beans from Brazil.
Okay.
Mexico makes coffee. So you kind of start smelling it. See how it's starting to get a little more roasty?
It's a little nuttier smell to it.
Yeah. So
what's that look like? Yeah, that's a little darker.
Yep. Oop. See that coffee?
Really dark. Yeah, it looks like dark coffee beans now. Huh?
Yep. So we're just gonna. Yep. So here you can actually hear the second crack going.
Yep.
See, it's a little Rice Krispie-ish.
Yep.
So here we're gonna stop the roast at this point. I should have did this earlier. So I'm going to take this and I'm gonna pour these coffee beans out. So you can see there's a lot of chaff left behind.
Yeah.
make sure there's no bean. Yeah, there's no beans in there. So we're gonna set that over here. And you can kind of hear that the second crack.
Yep.
So the key to this is we're gonna take a second mixing bowl. I should have planed it a little better. And we're going to set this here. Just be careful. Do it over by the sink. And you can kind of just cool these beans down and just kind of, that is hot. Give me a second.
See all that? I see all the chaff like you're talking about, all the little
Yep.
pieces and everything else.
Yeah, so let me get that colander. I washed it. It's in the, yeah, so the trick is you're going to want to try to cool that coffee down so it doesn't keep roasting. I like to do it at the second crack. Let me get this off real quick. Because I know it's going to carry on just a little bit more. When I was telling you I like a medium roast, but not quite a dark roast. That's kind of what I like to try to plan on it. So enter that second crack, take the beans off, let them kind of approach that second crack, and there we go. Perfect. We're going to do this over the sink, because you're going to see a lot of chaff come out here in a second. A little roasty, huh?
Open that door there, Bill. And what are you doing here?
So here I'm just kind of just trying to shake that chaff off. I'm not trying to be, my holes are a little bit, the holes are a little bit big on this, so I'm just trying to be careful and not shaking it too much.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
So you're shaking to try to winnow out the chaff. Is
Yep,
that what you're
yeah.
doing? Can you don't want to run water over it or anything?
No. That's, you don't want to do that. Kind of doing this, just, that's the pizza dough. See all that chaff?
Yeah.
And we can kind of pick those beans up.
And then so once you winnow it out like that, then you're left behind with the beans, and you just grind them up and go.
Beans.
Huh?
Yep. You're gonna want to let these beans rest overnight to get all that CO2 gas out of them, and then they'll be ready
Rest
to
out on the counter or in the fridge.
So
or
what I do is I have my little coffee storage container, and I just leave the lid cracked overnight.
Outside or in the fridge or what?
Oh no! You don't ever put coffee beans in the fridge.
Okay.
You're going to dry them out, and sometimes your fridges have smells and stuff too.
Okay.
Unless you want your coffee to taste like chicken and ground beef and cheese.
Okay.
I personally don't.
So put them in a container, let them rest overnight, and then they'll be ready in the morning. All right. So we'll be back in the morning, and we'll come back and we'll grind the coffee up, try it, see how it works. So we'll be back. All right. All right. Be right back. This is 2 batches of 40 grams. 2 batches of 40 grams. That's pretty snazzy. What is that, little grinder there?
Yeah, it's a Baratza Encore grinder.
Okay.
It's a burr grinder, and
You brew it, you grind it coarse or?
so for this Chemex, you want it kind of a medium coarse, so not quite like a French press coarse. I have it set at 22. There's 40 settings on here. 22 is kind of roughly in the middle, just a little on the coarse side. So
Okay, all right.
and then you just slowly work down.
You got water boiling. Now you said these beans are a little smaller
Yeah,
than South American beans.
Yep, so these African beans, because they're grown at a really high elevation, they tend to be smaller and a little bit denser. So when you're grinding them, on this one, I just kind of keep my hand on the top, or it'll just kind of pop off. Yeah, I mean, they'll still grind, and you get.
You're gonna put all that in there?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 80 grams.
Yep, that's enough to make about 8 cups.
You put 8 cups in there, and it's gonna filter through and come down to the bottom there. All right. All right, we'll come back for the taste testing. I'm excited. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Worth it. We're about to find out. Stand by.
There's water dripping out. All right. So you're gonna add the water. And with this fresh roasted coffee, there's gonna be a lot of CO2 gas coming off of it. So you see how it's bubbling up like that?
Yeah.
So you're gonna want to do what's called a bloom. So you're gonna pour in double the weight of water to your beans. So we had 80 grams of water, or 80 grams of beans. We put 160 grams of water in there, and you're gonna let it go for 30 seconds to 45 seconds. And that blooms the coffee, gets the CO2 gas out of there, and that allows the water to better extract the flavor out of the beans. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Seems busy, and it is, but
all right.
It's good coffee.
Can't wait. So you finish that little bloom.
Yep.
That's kind of sunk back down, and then
see it settled out, and now we're just going to start pouring the coffee, kind of going in a little swirl to get everything all nice and saturated. And then here, I just kind of keep it going. Just gotta let that rest for a little bit.
come on, faster. All right, so it's all in there now.
All done brewing.
8 cups worth.
8 cups. I like to give just a little swirl. Just kind of helps distribute all that coffee. And then now we'll just pour in our cups.
And the beans, so after you roast them, they're probably good for what? Probably a month?
Yeah, about a month. If you aren't opening the top a whole bunch, they'll keep anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for maximum flavor. I try to just roast what I need for each week, and I just 10 minutes out of my Sunday, and I get good fresh roasted coffee all week. So.
All right. Well, here, you take this.
All right.
Let's do the taste test here. All right. It smells good. And this is just black, so I get the full flavor.
Yep.
Oh, it's certainly dark roasted. That might have been my fault. Oh yeah, that's tasty. That's a neat little hobby.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun, and 10 minutes out of my Sunday, not a whole lot of time.
So you roast the beans for a week and make yourself fresh coffee. It's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
And it's a little cheaper.
Yeah, it's cheaper and obviously
Better. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks, son.
Yeah, welcome.
Fine job.
Is that it?
All right. All right. Now it's time to enjoy the coffee. So take care. We'll see you.
All right.